Call me Delulu, but I've become the main character of my life in my 30s. I might be a late bloomer. I went from being an insecure, people-pleasing wallflower to being unapologetically myself, being the most confident, successful version of myself in my 30s. Just that girl. Hi lovelies, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm talking about becoming the main character of my life in my 30s. People talk about glowing up, reinventing yourself in your 20s, but no one talks about being a late bloomer, not having it all together, not being the best version of yourself, not living the life that you've always dreamt of. I, for one, had fake confidence in my 20s, comparing myself to other people. It felt like I was having an out-of-body experience, living a life that wasn't my own, hiding behind my curvy body to define my worth. So I want to encourage you as a fellow late bloomer that just because you haven't blossomed into the woman of your dreams yet, it doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. We are all on our own journey and have different stories. Some people peak early and some people peak late. It doesn't mean if you peak early that you're better than others, or if you peak later, it doesn't mean that you're not worthy. Funnily enough, because of my only child syndrome, I grew up with main character energy, where I was in my own little bubble, where it was all about me. I was the center of attention, and I genuinely believed that the world evolved around me. But life dimmed my light, from being bullied, relationships, friendships, work, things not going well, allowing people's opinions and my experiences to shape my opinion of myself. We are all born with a spark, confidence, self-belief, self-worth. No one backs themselves like a child. I look at my 2-year-old daughter. She's just that girl. She gives main character energy. She believes she can do anything. She's the most confident person that I've ever met, and she's only 2 years old, because we are all born with a spark, with that self-confidence, that self-worth, and that self-belief. And then life happens. We start to question ourselves. People's opinions, our experiences start to have a dent on our identity, which was the case for me from my teenagers and all of my 20s. And on top of that, I hit rock bottom. My mom passed away. I became a single mom. I was in debt. I was broke. I didn't have a job. It's like I had to lose everything and lose myself for me to find my spark again. So I know it's probably the last thing that you want to hear when you probably don't like yourself, you don't like your life, but there is light in your darkness. You have to find the message in your mess for you to become the main character of your life. I remember when I had no true sense of identity, and frankly, I didn't like myself, I didn't like my life, and I would look at other people and think, oh my gosh, you have the most perfect life, you're so beautiful, and I'll try and mimic either the way that they looked or the way that they lived, because I had convinced myself that if I looked like them, if I behaved like them, if I had a similar lifestyle to them, then I too would be happy, then I too would love myself and become a main character in my life. But being a main character doesn't mean you have to change who you are. It's being the best version of who you already are. I'm gonna say that again for the people in the back. Being a main character doesn't mean being somebody else. It's becoming the best version of who you already are. That means enhancing the parts of yourself that you love and just tweaking the other parts that you don't like. And the easiest way of doing this is either having a vision board or just writing down a list of the best version of yourself. If you think to yourself, 5 years from now, what does the most confident, most successful version of yourself look like? For me, it looked like being unapologetically myself, having quiet confidence, walking in a room and having magnetic energy without even saying anything, being comfortable in my body regardless of my weight, not dressing for the male gaze, having a modest, chic and classy personal style, being a soft feminine woman who doesn't have to work hard for anything but attracts everything that she wants. How I know I'd become the best version of myself, I met one of my subscribers at an event and she said, you are exactly how I thought you would be. With all these beautiful women in the room, you are still magnetic. Your essence is bright. People want to know more about you without you even saying anything. To think that the things I'd written down about becoming the best version of myself and the work that I had been putting in is actually reflecting with my current identity, which means I'm on the right path. So trust me, once you write it down, once you write your vision board and start taking aligned action, people will start noticing changes in you. But that's the thing, you have to take aligned action. If you're not putting any work into becoming her, you are going to remain the same. You need to commit to becoming the main character of your life. Make sure you're looking at your your list or vision board every so often to create that emotional connection to the best version of yourself, which is going to inspire you and motivate you into taking the aligned action. Being clear on what the best version of yourself looks like helps eliminate comparing yourself with other people, trying to imitate or mimic other people, because now you have a roadmap. You know where you want to end up and what steps that you need to take for you to become the main character of your life. I remember when I was at my lowest financially and I couldn't afford to go on holiday, go out with friends and do all the things that made me happy. I found things at home that I enjoyed, like just getting dressed and looking cute for no reason, playing music whilst I was cleaning and pretending that I was a main character in a movie, watching some of my favorite movies and programs that just brought me so much joy and nostalgia, cooking my favorite meals, going for a walk at the river. It made me realize that you can romanticize your everyday life. Being the main character doesn't mean you have to have a lot of money. It doesn't mean you have to be the most successful version of yourself right now. Finding joy in the little things, living a soft life with the cards that you have been dealt. I always say to people, you don't know when you're going to manifest your dreams. So are you going to be miserable until that happens? What if it takes a year? What if it takes 5 years? One of the easiest ways to manifest your dream life is to not only be grateful with what you have, but to also romanticize your current lifestyle. Be in the moment, detach from that dream and enjoy every single day as though you're living the life of your dreams today. But if you're in a position to do so, treat yourself. Take yourself on a solo date. Buy yourself that overpriced latte. Buy that item that's been on your wish list for years. Treat yourself how you want to be treated by other people. Instead of waiting for other people to affirm you, to tell you that you're good enough, to take you out, to buy things for you, show up for yourself, treat yourself, love yourself first. Once you have that main character energy, anyone who comes around you is going to know your boundaries, what you like, what you don't like, and is going to treat you accordingly. And treating yourself doesn't always mean buying yourself things or giving yourself these experiences. I speak about this in my manifestation video, that the way that you speak to yourself or about yourself is going to have an adverse reaction on how you feel yourself and how you treat yourself. I check myself from internalizing and blaming myself when things go wrong. For example, if a guy doesn't text me back, I'm not worried about what's wrong with me. He doesn't like me, because if he wanted to, he would. If I get overlooked for an opportunity, I'm not going to think, oh, I'm not good enough, or maybe I should lower my prices. But I say it wasn't for me. A better opportunity that's meant for me is coming. Because firstly, once you go down that rabbit hole, it's going to be difficult to come out of it. And secondly, I'm the main character of my life. I attract everything that I want, and everything always works out for me. Even in a movie, there's going to be times where the main character is going through some things, and there's going to be times where she's thriving, she's living her best life. And that's the same analogy I have for my life. I'm just having a moment, but I'm going to be right back to thriving and living my best life in my next season. There was a time I would be so offended that my friends weren't showing up for me the way that I wanted. They weren't supporting my business, they weren't liking my YouTube videos, they weren't commenting, until I realized that I was a side character in their lives. I did a TikTok the other day with a sound from Sex and the City.
I decided instead of running away from the idea of a life alone, I'd better sit down and take that fear to lunch. So I sat there and had a glass of wine, alone. No books, no man, no friends, no armor, no faking.
A lot of us need people for the wrong reasons. We're scared to be alone. We don't know who we are without other people in our lives. We need people to remind us who we are. Being a main character is just being. Whether people are watching you or not, it's having a true sense of self. So when you are around people, you're not just conforming and agreeing with what other people are saying, but not caring if people don't agree with you, not caring if you have a different opinion to the majority. When you don't care so much, you become fearless. I always say that it took me 10 years for me to start this YouTube channel. I was terrified about people's opinions. What are people going to say about me making videos and putting myself online? How is this going to affect me with my career? But once you become the main character of your life, you're fearless. You can chase your dreams and do all the things that you stopped yourself from doing. I will be classed as a nano content creator. I don't have the biggest following, and sometimes my videos don't even perform that well, but I don't care. I'm the main character of my life. I'm going to continue doing something that I love, doing something that I'm passionate about, doing something that's my purpose. It doesn't mean that I don't value constructive criticism. It doesn't mean that I don't value feedback. It doesn't mean that I sometimes don't get affected about people's comments and opinions about myself. It just means that I'm able to pick myself up quickly because I know myself, because I am confident in who I am, in my ability, and also in my dreams and where I'm going. The message here is it's never too late. You can reinvent yourself in your 30s, 40s, 50s. There is nothing wrong with being a late bloomer. Just be crystal clear on what the best version of yourself looks like. Take aligned action. Don't care what people say. Romanticize your life and treat yourself like the main character in your life. Like this video, subscribe to the YouTube channel so you don't miss out on any upcoming videos, and I will see you in my next video. Mwah. Bye lovelies.